Back with you tonight, Sharon in Focus. ActionSA in Johannesburg says it will table a motion of no confidence against the chair of chairs, Colleen Makhubele, in the next council sitting. The party says Makhubele has proven that she is not suitable to hold office. ActionSA says Makhubele should be demoted to the position of ordinary councillor. Funzi Ngobeni, ActionSA caucus leader, joins us now to unpack the latest development. Funzi, good evening, and thank you very much for your time. Have you followed due process in terms of the decision that you have reached? Have you given your reasons to the other parties, or are you of the view that ATM, UDM and COPE do not belong in the coalition anymore?
Yeah, good evening, Tabo, and good evening to the viewers. Yes, we have followed due process. We have submitted our motions through the Office of the Speaker, and they will be tabled in what we call the Programming Committee. And the Programming Committee will then advise whether our motion is admissible or it's not admissible. But we are confident that we have ticked all the boxes, and this motion will be tabled and be voted successfully, at the end of the month in that council meeting. Yeah. So we have engaged also with our coalition partners, and we are all in unison that it's important that we must table these motions, and that we must be able to replace these councillors with councillors who are committed to work with us, but to most importantly work in the interest of our residents.
Yeah. Surely ActionSA, according to COPE in particular, Colleen Makhubele, cannot be dictating to other parties who their councillors should be.
No, we're not dictating who their councillors should be. I know that various political parties, including ActionSA, we have followed our own, internal processes to take steps against some of our councillors, and I'm sure COPE, if it's a party that really respects itself and that has all their integrity still in place, they will be able to act against Councillor Makhubele. But in the event that they fail to do so, Tabo, we are going to lead the way in council. We're going to table a motion of no confidence, but we're going to go further. We're going to also, submit to the new speaker that the councillor must be referred to the ethics committee, and we are doing so, Tabo. Not lightly. It's something that we have thought about. That Councillor Makhubele, I think, for the past few days, has really brought the council into disrepute. We are of the view that she has not acted in the interest of the residents of Johannesburg, and she has really damaged the image of the city. And that is, if you look at the code of conduct of councillors, it's really in breach of those code of conduct. So we are going to refer her to action to the ethics committee, and we'll then have to wait for that process to unfold. We can't have Councillor Tabo when many of us have declared that the city is open for business. We are going around and asking, internal and external investors to look at investing in the city of Johannesburg to create jobs for our jobless young people. Then we have a councillor who's, out of her own self-interest, go about and damage the reputation of the city and basically takes the work that we are doing backward. I think we can't
says, Councillor Ngobeni, this is intimidation. In fact, smaller parties are being intimidated by Democratic Alliance, hence they are behaving this way. As far as she's concerned, she has broken no laws. She constitutionally did what she's supposed to do. She voted with her conscience. She didn't believe that the speaker was the right person to be in that particular chair in terms of how he was dealing with the matters. And as far as the question of being chair of chairs, she says the Structures Act is silent on that, and it was a good thing that it be taken to court so that now it's been cleared and there's clarity on this particular position. What is unethical about it, and what is it that you're saying in that behavior? She demonstrated that she's not suitable to be a chair of chairs.
Yeah, look, she can't claim, Councillor Makhubele, she can't claim that she was not advised. We had a meeting with the acting city manager and the acting secretary of council. All political parties were represented there. She was there as well with other parties which are in alliance with the action. And the city manager clarified, the position of the chair of chairs. He clarified, the Structures Act. He opened the meeting to a debate. We discussed and we left that meeting, all of us, fully understanding, with a full understanding of what is going to happen next. What was going to happen next? We were going to wait for the city manager to call an extraordinary meeting where the speaker will be elected. But she went out of that meeting and she continued to mislead society. She continued to paint the city of Johannesburg as a dysfunctional municipality that doesn't know its council rules and doesn't know Municipal Structures Act. And for that, we think that she has really brought the city into disrepute. And we expected better from her as the chair of chair. We have worked with Councillor Makhubele for the past 8 months, and we have had back and forth engagement with the DA. As you know, we are on record as ActionSA that there's issues that we have had with the DA, which we have tabled them internally in the coalition. The disputes that we have lodged in the coalition have been dealt with internally, according to the coalition agreement. And we expected her to do the same. If she had issues that she wanted to address with the DA or with any of us, she would have followed the coalition agreement. But you see, if you are bored and if you are being captured by forces that want to destabilize the city, you end up doing what she has done, and it's quite unfortunate because now we're going to definitely demote her. We're going to have to table that motion.
The argument would be, is ActionSA not being hypocritical? When the shoe was on the other foot, when you were unhappy with the mayor of Tshwane, you were quite okay with breaking with protocol of the multi-party coalition, and you were speaking out of tone in terms of what the multi-party coalition wanted you to say, but you were expressing your own view as a political party. And when the shoe is on the other side, you're saying, no, she must toe the line. Why?
No, Thabo, we are the party of the rule of law. We follow all processes. Even in Tshwane here, you will know that we raised the matter internally in the coalition up until the last day, when the mayor of Tshwane was the one that broke the prescript of the coalition agreement. But we didn't end there. We took it even further when we met as political parties, and a decision was taken that a full investigation will be taken against the mayor, and that once that investigation is concluded, we'll be able to know. So we follow the processes, and that is what is going to strengthen coalitions, because coalitions is not about parties agreeing all the time on matters. We need to all the time we're going to differ, we're going to debate robustly, but it's important that when we do so in the interest of our residents and not compromise the integrity of the city or even its reputation. But in this case, we are dealing with an individual that has gone out of her way to ignore the council rules, to ignore the Municipal Structures Act, to ignore the advice that has been provided to her by the acting city manager, and to ignore when she was called to desist from calling herself an acting speaker. And to the point that we had to go to court. We didn't, obviously the city didn't want to go to court. It was as a last resort when we saw that this individual it's quite committed on hijacking the city of Johannesburg Council. And then we couldn't allow that. And that is why it's important that we must set an example that people will not get away without being held accountable. In South Africa, politicians are being labeled as many things that are wrong. We get away with murder, we do things wrong, and we just come and speak nicely in the media, and we get away with whatever wrong that we have done. It's important that we must change that narrative and ensure that individuals, when they do wrong, they are taken to task and be held accountable, and they must answer for themselves on what pushed them to get to that point. So this is what we are doing as ActionSA. We are going to hold her accountable. We are going to hold other councillors accountable that have.
I wanted to say she's not the only one whose head you're going for. ATM Councillor Lubabalo Makwenshu is another one who chairs the Health and Social Development Section 79 Committee. Why are you going for that councillor? That councillor seems to have been acting according to the mandate of the party and the full support of the party. Are you saying ATM is out of the multi-party coalition in the city of Johannesburg at least?
Yeah, we've got very important business as a coalition government, in fixing the city of Johannesburg. And we can't have rogue councillors within us who are going to disrupt us and defocus us on the work at hand. We need to be decisive. When councillors decide to vote with the opposition, they are defining themselves outside of that coalition agreement. So we must be able to move as quickly as possible to replace them, put individuals that are committed on saving the residents of Johannesburg, and be able to continue delivering services. We don't have time. Our residents are impatient. They want services. They want to see council sitting and being able to pass policies and bylaws and be able to pass reports that will be able to change their lives. So we can't be able to waste time with individuals that clearly, are no longer interested in saving the residents of Johannesburg. So we're going to assist them. We're going to remove them very quickly and then put people that will be able to work.
It's a hung council that you're talking about. So every number, every seat is important. Are you not minimizing your chances of success by alienating all these parties, UDM, ATM, and COPE?
No. We're not alienating them. They've already voted against this coalition. And they are on record to say they are going to vote against this coalition even in the future. So we are not alienating them. We are just consolidating, like-minded people that will be able to take the city of Johannesburg forward. And we do have, the numbers that will be able to take us forward. And those numbers are made up of people and parties that are committed in this coalition agreement and parties that are committed in saving the residents of Johannesburg. So I think they will be able to get, attention and seats, in the bloc that they've chosen to belong to, which is an ANC bloc, so they can be able to work with ANC. Hopefully they have promised them something that they can be able to hold on to. But for us, the only thing that we wanted them to do was to work with us in fixing the city of Johannesburg, and clearly they're not interested in that. So let them go and cozy up with people that they are quite aligned with, which is the ANC.
Funzi Ngobeni, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on tonight. That is Funzi Ngobeni, ActionSA caucus leader in the city of Johannesburg.